Okay, so I'm going to talk about negotiating and how to be a good negotiator, which are skills you can use in everyday life. Most people are going to associate negotiating with financial transactions and business, but in fact, you can use it for anything because negotiating is something we do every day, and you don't even realize you're doing it. For example, if you call your friend to tell them about an awesome movie that you want to go watch with them, you're negotiating. You're negotiating. There's a conflict. The conflict is between your version of reality and theirs. So you're calling them to tell them that, look, your version of reality at the moment is incorrect because your version of reality is not aware of this awesome movie that we should go see together. So even it's a very small conflict that you're bound to win because your friend's going to want to go see an awesome movie with you, it's still a conflict. All communication is a conflict. Even if it's a mum asking like the husband or the son or daughter, or what do you want to eat for dinner? There's a conflict there because they need something from that person. They need to know information, and it's up to that person to give it to them. So the reason why we have communication skills is so that we can get people to see our version of reality. So that mother's version of reality is that her version is, I'm not aware of what you want to have for dinner, and I need you to tell me what you want to have for dinner so that way I can make it. Right? So there's a conflict there. Now, it's obviously a very simple conflict, but I'm going to explain to you that every single time you talk to someone is a conflict. It's about expressing your version of reality so they can accept that, and they can accept your version of reality. So the mother's version of reality is that she doesn't know what the person wants to eat for dinner, and so they need to, she's expressing that, and they need to express their version of reality so they can understand what her problem is and give it. You know what I mean? So another example, but I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. I don't keep giving examples. So I explain that just so you understand how important negotiating skills are, because we use them every day. We negotiate every day, and when you know how to negotiate well, then your social skills and your interactions will be 100 times better. Now, in order to be a good negotiator, you need to understand the win-win. Okay, now the win-win is what value, when you approach someone for something, whether it's to ask them the time or anything, you need to understand what your value is and what you bring simply by interacting with someone. So, to give you an example, a real life example, which has been really helpful, I talked about my phone bill recently, which was like $400 overdue that I owed, and I managed to get that wiped off. It's probably be a pretty easy example. I think maybe perhaps a lot of people have done this before, but it's a very clear, obvious example, and it's a very productive example. I got a lot of benefit out of it. Okay, so I called the phone company up. I was $400 overdue because I used too much data. So I called the phone company up, and I told them I was currently connecting a new internet connection with TPG or some company like that. I'll use TPG as an example. I was connecting with them my broadband, and I thought, okay, I'll call the internet company, a phone company out now before they cancel my phone, and get this $400 bill sorted. My bill is usually $400, $40 a month, but this time it was $400 because I didn't have internet. I was using my phone. So I called them up, and what I said was, look, I'm thinking of joining TPG because I've just done my broadband with them. I like your phone company. I want to stay with you. I've been with you for a long time, but I'm thinking of bundling my phone with my internet and saving money. But if you can fix this bill for me, I will stay with you. Okay? And they said, okay, this is what we'll do. We'll wipe your bill, the $400 off, but we'll set up a contract so you have to stick with us for 12 months. Because my phone plan was $40 a month, which is like one of the cheapest deals out there. So that's why I wanted to stick with it. I wasn't actually going to go with TPG. That was just a bluff, but it was possible. Like, it was a plausible bluff, and so I didn't feel like I was lying. I very likely would have changed my phone company if they made me pay this bill simply out of spite. So I would have done that. So I was serious. but I wouldn't go bundle with TPG, and I probably wouldn't save money because I said that I was going to bundle with TPG. I had no idea if TPG offered bundles and if I would have saved money, but I said that they did, and I was serious that I would. That I gave the impression that I was serious that I would. I probably wouldn't have actually, because I'm too lazy. I would have just had to pay with it and stuck with them. But I said I would, and it was a real threat. It was a very plausible threat. And what happened is they said, okay, we'll make a deal. We'll sign you up on a contract, 12-month contract, and we'll get rid of the $400 overdue fee. Okay, and so what happened is because I wasn't on a contract. I was paying. My contract ended like 12 after the first year that I'd signed up, and that was like 4 or 5 years ago. So I organised the contract, and I was able to save. Now that's pretty much the end of it. They wiped it off. I saved $400. Now I apply that. The reason why I was able to do that confidently and come across realistically is because I recognise that it's a win-win for both of us. Okay. They win because they get my business, and I win because I get $400 off. So you're able to be confident and negotiate well when you realize the value that you're bringing that they should appreciate, and you can express that, and all you require to help a successful transaction, a business transaction to take place, is you have some needs you require. So my needs were that I needed to get rid of this $400 bill. I couldn't afford it. So I was honest. I said, look, it's too much, $400 for some internet usage. Can you help me with that? And I'll stick with your company, or else I'm just going to leave the company and go with someone else. And to be honest, that's like the third time I've done it, because I've gone over the bill before, and I've caught I've done it 6 months before, and like a year before that, and I caught up and I threat to leave if they don't get rid of the bill. And they've done it every time. I don't think it was overdue. I think it was overdue bills, but every time they've done it, I had to do like something like set up a direct debit, and then they said they'd do it. So overall, I saved about $800 in overdue bills every time I've called up and threatened to leave, or said, I didn't threaten to leave, like, well, I'm going to leave, do it. It was more like, let's make a deal, you know? Help me and I'll help you. I'll stay with your company. I'll do something for you. I'll maybe upgrade and pay $10 a week, a month extra if you give me a better plan. But what I need you to do is I need you to wipe off this massive bill. So that's what I did. And I carry that mindset with me when I talk to everyone and when I want to negotiate with everyone. Okay, it's all about understanding what I bring. Okay, so it does take some reflection and some homework. You need to understand what value you have as a person and what you can bring to people. And so that way you can confidently make deals and make offers, and people will buy into it, and they'll feel confident and secure that you can follow through with your actions, with what you promise. So it takes some homework, it takes some reflection. If you want to make business contacts, for example, if you want to go, if you like to network, you want to network, for example, I worked in film, so I'll use that as an example. When I go to networking events, it's really easy for me to make contacts, and a lot of contacts I've made have helped me get work. Initially, I was getting into acting and performance, and so I wanted to get acting roles, and acting roles are very hard to get just by the generic method, which is you look for auditions online, on the databases, and you apply and you go to an audition. It's extremely hard to get roles that way because there's so much competition, and people, producers and directors have a very specific character that they're looking for, and it's very hard to get over all those hurdles. So especially for like a feature film or like a big project, and especially for stuff that pays. So for me, what I found easy, this is at the indie level as well. I'm not Hollywood or anything, so it's going to be a lot harder to get this at a Hollywood level. But what's important is not the remember, what's important is not that you get the role, is that you're easy to find it easy to put yourself out there, because we've got to think of the long term. Okay, winning one battle isn't going to set you up for life. All right, what will set you up for life is not being afraid to take the battles, not being afraid to put yourself out there, not being afraid to constantly be putting yourself out there and making hits. You know what I mean? Making hits. and because finally you're going to win. Okay, when you make enough hits, you're finally going to start winning, and it's going to become, your wins are going to become consistent. So what's important is that you find a comfortable way, a comfortable mindset that allows you to constantly be putting yourself out there. And when you constantly put yourself out there and you do it in a confident, comfortable, easy manner, you'll start winning all the time. So for the filming example, right, this is a light example that everyone could apply, is that when I go to networking events and I meet someone like who's making a film, this is what I did in the past, I met someone who's making a film and all that, I would approach them and I'd find out what they do, I'd ask them what they do, what they're into, and then I come from the mindset that I can offer value, even if it's like creative value in what they're doing. I can help in what they're doing if they need help or anything, and they can help me, is that they can consider me for parts in their project. All right. So first I establish value. I demonstrate value. I say, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I swear I can help. Do you need anything I can help with? What can I do for you? Anything at all. You need anything? You need help organizing stuff. You need help carrying equipment on set. I can do all that. For free, and you can help me. Maybe you can consider me for some parts. Now, people are mostly good, people are mostly empathetic, and people will mostly feel obliged if you help them, that they'll want to help you. And also being in their environment, their atmosphere, they're going to think of you first when they need something, all right? If you're not around them, they won't think of you when they need something. If they need you for a role, or if they want you to help them co-direct something, they won't think of you unless you're around them, unless they've got you in their head. And if you're constantly around them, every time they think of something, every time they've got a part, they've got something that's open, they'll think of you first, or maybe I can use them for this. They've helped me so much, they're always very helpful. So if you want to make contacts with someone, let's say you want to make business contacts. I don't know many business fields, but let's say, that's why I talk about film. Let's say you're a business, you're setting up a business and you want to network, people who might be able to help you market. Do your homework, find out what you can bring to people to help them. They're very simple things that you can bring. All you're doing is expressing the idea that anything they need, you will give them, you will help them. If they need manual labor, you will be there for them. All right? And in return, they can help you with what you need. You can work together. Teamwork gets shit done. Okay, that's what you're trying to get across, and you're an awesome team member. If you guys can network, come together, you can make shit happen. So that's what you're trying to get across. So if you're trying to network with people, find out what you can do for them. Get up all up in their face with how you can help them, you know. So if I went to a networking event, let's say a challenging example, if I went to a networking event and let's say I'm currently making videos and films, and I could really use some marketing, some people who are good at marketing and all that. If I approach them, I can be like, hey, look, this is what I can do. Hey man, what do you do? Oh, I do marketing. I focus on online marketing. And I'm like, man, that could really help me. This is what I'm thinking internally. I'm thinking that could really help me if they could market some of my videos and get them published and get them out there. So what I'd do is I find out, what are you doing? Oh, you're marketing. Oh, do you need anything help with that marketing? Because I make videos. I can make videos of you or your company, and maybe that would help you. I can talk about it. I do podcasts. I'll tell them, look, I do podcasts. I'll tell them, look, I do podcasts with my friend, and we can talk about your product for a little bit and what's good about it and all that. And then maybe once we've done that, you can take that episode and maybe you can market it and apply some of your skills. But don't say that. You wouldn't say that straight away, because then you don't want to give the impression that that's all you're concerned about. You want to give the impression that you want to get involved with them, that you want to help them, so that you can become a team. Okay, that's what you want to go for. You want to be a team player. All right, you can be solo, but team players get shit done. And in the film industry, you've got to be a team player, because making a film is all about group creativity. Okay, it's not like music where a musician can just play a guitar and then it's all he needs, and he can release like a solo guitar album. If you're on film, you need to collaborate with writers, producers, directors, and other actors. It's a team effort. So you got to have that team mindset. And the key to having a team mindset is you got to love talking with people and making deals and working together. So you got to love that aspect and learn to love it. Figure out a way to love it. If you might not love it, you might be introverted, or you might suck at taking like orders and all that. Find out a way to love it. Okay, figure out what you need to do, what mindset you need to have to love being around people and talking and sharing ideas. Okay, maybe you got a big ego. That could be you could have like a big ego, and you hate people like shitting on your ideas, or you hate people coming up with better ideas than you. So those are things you need to work on to be happier, to getting over this sort of arrogance. But you need that team player mindset. So if I'm to approach this marketing guy, right, or woman, my method is going to be find out what they do, figure out on the spot. Now, I can figure out on the spot straight away how I can help people because I've been practicing it a lot. But when you practice it a lot, when you write down how you think of scenarios and how you can help them, or you can just get field work done, like you can just get practice done like in person and just go and do it and just improvise on the spot and how you can help people. You can try that, but it helps if you do if you practice at home. Okay, there are three elements to success that I talk about. And when I talk about success, I don't mean financially. That can be included. But there are three elements. There's performative, there's creative, and there is absorbing, like learning. So if you apply these three elements every day, you will start to grow wholly as a successful person, as an influential person, as a greater person. Okay. Now what that means is for absorption, it's like reading, taking in information. You're taking information. You got to read. You got to learn as much as you can. Okay. At the same time, you don't want to just read because you just be some boring person who just takes the information but doesn't give any out. So for that, you want to do creativity. Okay. So if you can create, you can come up with new ideas. If you're at home, for example, if you're into film's easy because it's an art, it's a creative art. It's easy. You just stay at home and write your own films. That's an example. Or if you're in a business, you can write business models up, successful business model strategies. Okay, that's being creative. Be creative like that. Learn to break those barriers in your mind, those creative barriers in your mind. Okay, and now lastly is performative. This will give you good social skills. This will make you attractive to people. It will make people trust you when you talk to them. It'll make people want to do business with you. Okay, you got to put your performance out there. You got to do public speaking, things like that. Get your performance out there. Approach people on the street. Talk to strangers. You know, so these are the three aspects. That's all you need to work on. That's all you need to worry about. That covers everything. Okay, it's the Holy Trinity. All right, so the performance, work on your performance. You know, we're going to the gym, that can be classified as a performance. It's getting out of the house. It's very small, right? It's a very small step you're taking, but it's still considered a step. Anything that's sort of extroverted, obviously socializing, going out with friends and socializing, or if you can go out by yourself and meet new friends, that's an example. Approaching strangers, that's going to work on your performance abilities, your social skills. Public speaking, join a Toastmasters club or something like that, or go to do some stand-up comedy. Those are big steps. Those are huge. Okay, if you went up to stand-up comedy, that's definitely going to help your social. It's going to help your performance. Right, it's going to help you be more centered and more confident and give you like a charisma and an aura. Sometimes even if you get strong enough, you get like an aura, like your energy is so strong, like people can see. It's like an aura. It's just kind of weird. It will give you that. But obviously stand-up comedy, doing up open mics, that's very challenging. So of course you probably shouldn't start there unless if you're already somewhat social, then you can go up to that level. But those are the things that's performance. Okay, now if you just do performance, then you'll kind of be like bimbo or like dumb mimbo, you know, like a male bimbo, where all you're good at is socializing. You're not smart because you don't practice your creativity and you don't understand things on a broad level because you don't read and absorb information. So you're just kind of like a model, you know. You'd be like a model, or maybe even you couldn't even be a rock star because rock stars, they're creative. They're creating music, at least initially. You know, when they become successful, you got like an industry professionals that write all their music for them. But if you want to focus on all three to become fully developed and increase your chances, you should focus on all three. So you focus on your performance, which is getting out there, socializing, interacting with strangers, and getting confidence in yourself. And then you work on your creativity, which is breaking those barriers in your mind, which will help you think of ideas. Okay. And then finally, absorption. You want to spend time reading about information, learning about the industry. But if you apply all three of those, then you're set. Okay, you're set. Apply all three of those, and you're set. All right, that's all you need to. Or you won't need to worry about anything else. Okay, so that's for success. That's if you want to become like productive and a successful person. If you just apply those three fields, pay attention to them, and then you're doing the best. You'll be running at optimum level. So that was a bit of a sidetrack there. I wanted to talk about the Holy Trinity of development, of personal development. Now, so I'll get back into it. When you're approaching people and negotiating, your creativity skills, you can apply them beforehand by thinking of all the ways that you add value to someone. Okay, so if it's at a business event, you want to approach them straight away by demonstrating what value you can offer. So find out what they do, get some information, and find out, then express ways you can help them, even if it's bullshit, or even if you just come up with stuff on the spot. Take that leap, and then once they say, yeah, you can help them with that, then stick to that, get their details, contact them and say, look, I've figured out something, are you interested? Can we meet? And you send it to them and say, what do you think? You know, catch up with them, say, hey, can we meet up? You know, ask them, you tell them what you're doing. Tell them what you're doing. Maybe they'll offer, you know, say, oh, I've done this. After you say, or what you do, they'll ask what you do. Say you can help them, and then say, oh, can you help me? What advice can you give me? Or is there any ways you could help, and we can help each other, and we can work together. Make sure you express that you want to work together, that you want to work as a team. So that way you don't come across as you're just taking, and you're going solo, and you're going to take whatever help they can give and run off with it. You don't want that mentality. You want that team player mentality. So when you approach someone, you want to come at them like, I can help you, you can help me, we can work as a team, we'll be successful together. And if I succeed, we'll both succeed, because we'll help each other succeed. So you want to create as many allies as you can. Trust me, you've got enough enemies out there, you've got enough competition out there. What your goal should be to create allies. So you want to create partners, you want to create allies, you want to create members, like a team members, you know, and you want to group together and work together and become like a powerful squad. Okay, so when you're approaching people, you want to come with that I can offer value. So if we're talking about like financial transactions, like for example, if you're going out and you're trying to save money on buying things, what the mentality I come at it with, like, so for example, I wouldn't, let's say if I want to save money on a TV or something, I want to go out and buy a TV. I wouldn't bother trying to negotiate with people who can't offer value with buying that TV. So for example, if it's at Kmart, I'm not going to negotiate with one of the staff there who are just staff members and say, oh, can you give me this TV deal and I'll buy from you. I want to buy from you because I trust Target's quality, and I trust them, but it's a bit too pricey. I mean, I could do that, but you get a bit exhausting doing that with everyone, especially with people who don't have the power to help you. So you wouldn't, for example, you don't go to Woolworths and get your grocery shopping and then try and negotiate your groceries down with the cashier. That's stupid, because they don't have that power. But what I would do is, if I go to, like for example, a good example is when I bought my bed for my new house, when I bought a new apartment, I went to this, it was like a local bed store. It wasn't a big manufacturer or a big brand. When I went there, I negotiated all the sales down, because I said, look, I like the products you're offering, I like the bed, and it's real nice, it's comfortable, but I need you to make me a deal, because I'm shopping around and I like the stuff, I want to buy it, but I need you, can you do a better price, and be honest that you want the better price, you know. Be honest with that, like, you got to be vulnerable, you know, put your vulnerabilities out there. The fact I'm vulnerable, I'm at your mercy because you've got some real good products, and you've done really well with the products that you've stocked, but it's just, I just really want to, I can't really afford it, and I really want it though. So be honest like that. You're vulnerable, okay? You're exposing your vulnerability, the fact that if they don't give you a better price, you're going to be hurt because you're going to miss out on the product, okay? So that's the sort of vulnerability. You don't want to be hurt that you're not going to save money, but you want to be hurt because if you want to come across as honest, because if you're saying you like their product, then the reason why you're going to be upset is because you don't get the product, not because you don't save the money. Okay, so if you're just trying to save money, people aren't going to like that, like you're just trying to rip everyone off, okay? And now some people, when they try to negotiate, they might come a bit like sort of arrogant, where it's like a lot of people, when they try to negotiate, they might try and talk other people's product down in order to lower their confidence in their product and get it that way. That's not going to work. And what's worst of all about that not working, it might work in some instances, but what's worst about that is, unless you're like a sociopath, you can't keep that up. Now, you don't want to be a sociopath. A lot of people, they think that being a sociopath, they kind of envy that capability. But let me tell you, sociopaths are not happy. That's why they need to keep making material gains, because they can't find like a static happiness, which is very unfortunate for them. But for everyone else, it's kind of can be a bit envious, like, oh, their manipulation skills. I wish I had those skills to rise up in the company like that. But I don't envy them, because they don't have static happiness. So. But let me get back to the point. If you're going to go around, if you think you can go around and negotiating by talking people's products down and all that, or making it lowering their confidence about their product, and then offering to buy it, you won't be able to keep that up. Okay, and you won't be congruent unless you're a sociopath. They won't be honest of you. Like that won't be how you feel like doing business, and it will create confliction and it'll make you exhausted, and it'll turn you off the idea of negotiating. To me, I like negotiating. I look forward to it because it's like a fun experience. It's fun opening up and being vulnerable, and it's fun to be vulnerable and to win and to save money and to create that communication. I find that fun because I'm being honest. I'm not lying and all that. So when I went to get my bed and I saved about I invested about $800 on my bed suite. When I went to get that, it was fun because I was being honest how much I liked his stuff. It's fun complimenting people, right? And you're not complimenting, you're not pandering and sucking up to people because you're also benefiting by saving money. So it was fun being able to compliment and say, look, this is real nice bed. It's really good. I wish I could have it, but I just can't afford it. Can you lower the price because I really want it? Can you do me a deal? And I'll say, because I went to this brand store and they have products in my price range. Obviously, it's not as good as this. Don't be afraid to talk up people's products. Okay, some people might be afraid. They might think that if I talk up their product, they might think they can get more money out of me. That's not that. Don't follow your instincts. Okay, because your instincts are usually wrong. You want to usually think counterintuitively. So come up with the mindset, talk up their product, but you can't buy it because it's too expensive, but you really want it. Okay, so at least I know you're being honest, and they'll know that you don't have anything else to give. So when you want to talk something up, that's how you should come at it. And that's how I save my money. Maybe some people have different methods out there. Just remember, like I say many times, a lot of people's techniques and a lot of what they say, their guides and their instructions are right and wrong at the same time. It just depends on how you look at it. An example of that I use is the work hard guide, where people say just you got to work hard to succeed, whereas that's provenly not true. We've seen lots of people who didn't work hard for their success. And there's also the common saying, work smart, not hard. I need to emphasize that. That's a common saying. We all agree with it. There's true, work smart, not hard. Humans have been given intelligence for a reason. So obviously this idea that you got to work hard, it's complete bullshit. You don't have to work hard. If you can work smart, work smart. So, but at the same time, working hard does help. If you want to get like a nice body and all that, for example, you want to be a bodybuilder or you want to get like a six-pack or something, you do have to work hard. You might have to go to the gym 5 times a week. And there's no smart way about that. So sometimes you do have to work hard. Sometimes you have to work. Sometimes working hard works. Sometimes working smart works. There's like everything that people tell you can be true and non-true at the same time. So you just gotta just relax, be patient, and be in it for the long run. Don't try to get everything done straight away, because that's not going to work. You'll make huge mistakes and unnecessary mistakes. So just take your time, be patient, and be in it for the long run. Okay, be in it for the long run, and you'll be grateful after like 5 years, 10 years when you haven't given up. When other people gave up because they were in it for the short run, they want a quick success. They tried brute force, and they'll give up. Whereas you'll still be in it. You will learn all these skills, and you'll look back and you look at all your achievements and realize that you are making gains. That's because you were patient, you took your time, and you absorbed information, and you analyzed things slowly. You did a bit of risk here, a bit of risk there. So what I was getting back to is when you're negotiating, always find the win-win. How do they win? So for example, for the example when I bought the bed, I saved $800. Remember this message is I'm not talking about for the people who are merging companies and shit. I think it's going to be the same principle, but that's not my experiences. I'm really talking to the masses here and people who want to save money and negotiate every day when they talk to people in their relationships. Maybe it could be applied to your relationships with your husband and wife. It's all about negotiating, finding the value of what you bring and how they can help you. Okay, so just remember, honesty is the key. That way you don't feel guilty or you don't doubt yourself, and you can be fully confident, and you'll be confident by being honest. Honest doesn't mean always telling the truth. Okay, like I said, you can twist truths all the time. Nothing wrong with that. But as long as you're being honest in your feelings and how you feel about something, and you come across, it's called congruency, you come across as congruent, you'll be honest, you'll be attractive when you're honest, and people will trust you because they can sense you're being honest. Again, that's why Trump was so attractive to so many people, because he came across as really honest, because he was being honest. Okay, he was being honest in how he feels. He was coming out, he was talking exactly how he feels. People could see that honesty, whereas the other politicians were being fake, and the other politicians were trying to be graceful and diplomatic. And it wasn't real. They weren't acting like how they feel. Donald Trump acts how he feels. He speaks exactly how he feels. People don't feel like he's hiding anything. It could be Now his feelings change a lot, and that's why it comes across as dishonest, because obviously his feelings change on a subject. He'll change his mind at the drop of a hat. But at that moment that he speaks, he's being honest, and that's what people find attractive. So when you make deals, you want to be honest. So when I go back to that bed example, I'm honest when I make deals. I honestly do want this product. That's why I'm there, and I'm honest when I say, look, I'm helping you. I want to buy your product. That's the value I'm bringing, is that I'm here as a customer, and I'm complimenting you because I want to do business with you. Now, it's not important that I say that. I don't say that, but it's important that I understand that and I feel that and I believe that. So that's what's important. That's what gives me the confidence to make deals, is that I believe that I'm already bringing value by being your customer and complimenting you by wanting your product. That's already bringing value. And so I'm asking you to bring value to me by giving me a better price, by lowering your price, That's like if I'm going to buy a car of someone and I want them to lower the price, or I want to negotiate, what's important is that I negotiate comfortably. Okay, well, that's what's most important, because if you don't want to be scared of negotiating, because like I said, I might not win the first or second negotiation, but once I've done about 10 or 20, usually, I'm just talking for everyone, but usually for me, I usually win like 1 out of 3 negotiations. But, or I usually, if it's buying products, I'd say I win 1 out of 3. And when I don't win, what's important is when I don't win, like when I want to buy like a computer and I don't lower the price or something, I'll know that that's because that's the best they can do, and that's reality. And I've submitted to reality. You got to submit. I've submitted to the universe. I'm fine with that. I did the best I could. I can walk away happy, even if I have to buy it. I tried my hardest. There's nothing I can do. That's reality. I submit, and so I don't have regret, and I can move on and move to the next accomplishment, the next win. Focus on the next win. Okay, so you're coming at it honestly. I kind of lost track what I was getting to, but what's important, what I'm getting to, is that when you come across honestly, right? Yeah. So what I was getting to is that you want to be comfortable when you negotiate. Negotiating is something you want to be comfortable with, and something you're confident with, and something you feel you benefit from even every interaction. Even you just feel good from having the interaction and practicing your skills. That way you'll be doing it often, and the more you do it, the more chances of success you have. You don't want to be like one of those people that's scared shitless of negotiating with people, because then you won't do it often, and when you do it, it won't be enjoyable. And if it's not enjoyable, you won't be confident, you won't be honest, you won't be successful, and you won't be doing it for the rest of your life. It's something that you want to learn, you want to get confident with, and you want to do constantly. All right, that way you'll always be winning. You'll be someone who appears lucky. People think, oh, that guy's just lucky. He always gets so many things. He's always saving money. Everyone's always doing deals with him, saving him money. But that the truth is that no, it's because you've learned to be honest. You've learned to understand what value you bring, and you exercise your skills every day, and you're always in it to win it. You're always in it. Yeah, you got to be in it to win it. You're always in it, so that's why you're always winning. And all people will pay attention to is the wins, and they'll think you're really lucky, and they'll be jealous of you. They won't see all the losses, but there won't be losses to you. Like when I negotiate, there's no loss, because if I negotiate and I don't get what I want, it's not a loss to me, because I wouldn't have got it anyway if I didn't negotiate. And because I'm being honest, there's no shame. I don't feel like I've shamed myself or I've created awkwardness. I understand that. Like I come at it like if they can't do it, I understand that. That's cool. I just put myself out there. I just say honestly what I'm feeling and my situation. So for example, let me give you an example. If let's say that bed example, if he said he can't lower the price and I have to accept his high price, I'm not going to feel like, oh man, he caught my lies. I feel like an idiot because I was going to pay the high price the whole time. No, because I'm being honest. The fact that I can't afford it and I am paying the price even though I didn't want to, and I'm doing it because I'm desperate, because I desperately want that product. Okay, that's at the point when I realize he's not going to drop his price. So what I'm saying is beforehand, if I know that if I'm going to end up paying the price that they put on it, and I don't mind the negotiation is going to go through, I'm not afraid of initiating the negotiation. A lot of people might be afraid because they might think if they fail, they'll look like an idiot, or they'll be forced not to buy it, or when they're forced to buy it at the price it's set, they'll sort of be exposed that they were lying about their requirements for it to be lower. But that's not true for me, because I'm prepared to pay. If I'm prepared to pay the initial price, and I end up paying the initial price and not getting the negotiation, I don't feel like an idiot because I was being honest in the negotiation. Now I don't be honest like stupidly and say, look, can do me a deal. If you can't do a deal, I'll pay the price that's on the sticker. But if you can do a deal, okay, that's dumb. All right, no one. They look at it from their angle. They're not going to be like, oh, I'll just do it out of the goodness of my heart. If he's willing to pay the regular price anyway. Okay, I won't say that, but I will say, look, I want you to do this deal for me. Because I really want to buy it. I want to buy your product. I like your business. I like you. I like the product you have. That's true. I like the product. I might not like you. I don't necessarily say I like them. You don't have to say you like them. You can just say I like the product. You obviously do. That's true. They know that's true because you're there trying to get it. Or else why would you be trying to get it if you didn't like it? So that's honest. So you say I like the product. It's really good, man. You've done good stocking this. I really want it, but it's just the price is too much. It's the problem. You know, if you could lower the price, I'll buy from you. I'll be your customer, and I'll buy more from you if you can lower the price on this. And if they say no, they can't, and then you buy it anyway, you won't feel like an idiot because it's a compliment. It's like, look, if you can't do it, I'll just take it at that price because it's so good. I really want it. I guess I'll just have to break the bank. But that means I just can't afford to buy any of your stuff for now. I might have to look at it later. Or there are other avenues. You can say, look, I have to think about it and come back. If you don't like the price, the regular price, then just say, okay, oh yeah, I just can't afford it. I'm sorry, but it's really good. I wish I could have it. And then you leave it at that. And so there's no shame either way. So negotiating doesn't have to be painful. It can be fun if you're honest and if you're confident that you have value to bring. And that can apply to anything. It can be applied to meeting people. If you want to meet strangers and make friends, you have to understand your value that you bring as a friend or as a lover. The fact that you can be someone to talk to, someone to listen to, someone to offer ideas and help them, that's enough value. That's what people want. You can help people's insecurities if people don't feel a certain way. You don't know that. You don't want to go in and be like, hey dude, you look awesome. Obviously with men that works a lot because a lot of men like that. Most men don't get physical compliments, so they'll like someone who does that. But as long as you recognize the value, remember, the best mindset you can have is that you win no matter what. Even if, for example, when I negotiate, even if I don't get the negotiation, I know I won for trying, and I know I won because it felt good. It felt good, and I know that most people don't feel good about negotiating, so I already know that I won the fact that it felt good, and I enjoyed the interaction, and I enjoyed the energy that I got from putting myself out there, being vulnerable and gambling and putting a risk trying to get it. It was like it was like a game, and so I enjoyed it, and so I already won before I've even been rejected, before I even tried. I won straight away. So it's win-win, and I find the win-win for other people, and that helps your negotiating skills. That's like fundamental, okay? So I'm not getting into like the specific tactics that people might use to negotiate. Obviously, every field's going to be different. Negotiating, if you're trying to negotiate like a friendship or get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, it's going to be different skills to being a salesman. If you're trying to sell cars, they're going to have their own set of skills. But fundamentally, all negotiation is the same. Fundamentally, whether you're trying to sell a car or sell yourself as an actor, or get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, fundamentally the negotiation is the same in the fact that you've got to recognize your own value, right, that you have right now. You don't have to create new value. All you have to do is practice your creativity and recognize what skills you have that you would like. Remember, everybody is the same, okay? Everybody is human and everybody has the same desires. Don't buy into this bullshit that we're different and all it's going to do is hold you back. No matter what race you are, what gender you are, we're all the same. So ask yourself, if someone wanted me to be their friend, or if I was going to like somebody, let's say you want to make friends, what should they bring that I would enjoy? Okay, so what would they bring to the table that I would enjoy? And sometimes we don't know what we want. A lot of people don't know what they want, but that's just one way you can figure out your value. Or you can just think of things that you think are valuable in yourself. Obviously, you can think of what you enjoy. That will give you an understanding. So I like people that make me laugh. I like people that are sort of realistic and they say shit how it is. So you could say, do I say shit how it is? Because if I like that, other people are going to like that. Okay, I don't. Right, I don't say shit how it is, maybe. It could be an example. So, you can think like that. If you want to figure out ways to find out what value you bring, you can figure out what you find valuable and see if you have any of those things. Or you can just look within yourself and be creative and think of things that you value as a person. Maybe it's the fact that you joke or that you smile. That adds value. People like people who are happy. Of course, not fake happiness. That can be a bit off-putting to some people, not everyone. So you sit down, you create, you figure out how you bring value to people. I gave you some examples. For example, when I'm making a business deal, I realized how I bring value. The fact that I'm complimenting them on their products and what they stock, by the fact that I'm expressing how much I want it, how good it is, and how grateful that I am that they have it. So that's the value I bring. Now I want them to bring value to me by lowering the price, right? They've already brought value by the product, and I'm expressing that, a good product. And now my value is that I'm a customer. And if people knew how happy I was about the product you stock, everyone would be here. And that's what you want. They might not know they want that, but I know that's what they want, and it's a huge compliment. So I'm confident that I'm already bringing value. Now I want something from them, and that's why I want them to lower the price. I want them to do me a better deal. And even if I want to make a friend, or if I go out by myself and I want to make friends, I recognize the value I bring is that I can bring like a more human companionship. I can bring jokes. I can bring a bit of life to the party. I can listen to them. If they want to talk about shit, I can listen. I'm there for that. I can dance, whatever. If they want that, I might not necessarily do it, but I recognize that I can bring value. I'm capable of doing those things. And those are things I've thought up with that I'm capable of doing. So that way, when I approach people, when I approach men or women, I know that I have value, that I'm capable of doing things that can satisfy them and make their life more enjoyable. So for that reason, I'm very confident with approaching strangers and negotiate and talking to them, because I know that I bring value. So that's what I mean, how it's fundamentally negotiation is the same. It's all about understanding and value, what you bring, and then what they can do for you. Well, you know what they can do for you, because whatever you want is what they can do for you. So it's really the challenging part is finding out how you bring value and believing it. Okay, a lot of people, I know it's hard to believe it. That's the struggle, but that's why it takes time. That's why you got to look at things in the long run. Don't look at things in short term. You want to look at things in like a marathon. Like you want to look at things in the long run, not a sprint. Because you need to give your brain time to change to the new mindset you're adopting, to the new ideas you're adopting. They don't change straight away. Evolution doesn't work like that. Let's talk about reality here. I'm all about reality and facing the truth, no matter how brutal it is. Okay, and one of the truths about change is it takes time. Evolution takes time. Ask any scientist. Evolution takes a long time. Now, if you're just starting out now, your brain has evolved in the wrong way. Your brain might have evolved. I'm talking about like, this is called microevolution. Your brain, like from when you were born, so let's say now you're 21, you might have brought into these ideas that you don't have any value to offer. You got low self-esteem. Okay, you've evolved. Your brain has evolved the wrong way. You've gone in the wrong direction. So it's going to take you. It won't take you another 20 years. Okay, but it will take you some time. Okay, it could take you a few years, depending how much effort you put in. It could take you a few years to fully to evolve to the correct path, the truth, and to understand the value you bring, and to see that every day. Every time you look in the mirror, when you get to this level, it's worth the investment. It is a long run, but because it's a long term effort, it's going to have a long term solution. Remember that. Okay, it is something that will last you forever. All right. So it's not like, taking steroids. You take steroids, you'll puff up, you'll look great for a few months, but then when you stop taking them, you'll lose all that straight away. You don't want that. You don't want to get stuck on these short-term cures, okay? What you want to do is find a long-term cure that lasts forever, all right? So be prepared for the long run, okay? This what I'm talking about now is recognizing and believing the value that you offer to people in yourself. So to do that, you need to be prepared for the marathon, for the long run. So you need to start every day recognizing what value you bring to people and exercising it. Okay, it's like a sport. It's like being a boxer. A boxer can punch the boxing bag as much as they want, but unless they put those practicing skills to practice, right? Unless they test them out, and they might test them in shadow boxing or with headgear, just practicing, then all that practice won't mean anything. So what I'm saying is, you learn, you read, you listen to me. I give you ideas and possible solutions. Okay, you read, you be creative, you practice, you come up with ways that you think that you add value to people, and then you put that stuff to practice by going out there, interacting with people, and putting these skills to practice, putting these beliefs to practice, and exercising them. Okay, just like being a boxer, they can punch the bag, then they do shadow boxing, or they spar, right? They put it to practice, and then they do the real deal. They get in boxing matches, okay? So it's like that could be like that with you. You can stay at home, be creative, think of ways you add value to start believing it, all right? And then you can practice maybe on family and all that. Negotiate with them, practice your negotiating skills with family, people you feel comfortable with, and then take it to the real level, take it outside, take it to the strangers you don't meet, try and get real success. Real results, okay? So the real result for the boxer might be winning the boxing match or getting a good hit. If he's amateur and he gets a few good hits in, he's like, I made some success, I didn't get knocked out straight away. So what you want to do is you practice your creativity, your value, practice on your friends and all that. If you want to spar, right, like a boxer, if you want to spar, practice on your friends, practice with people that you're confident with, and then when you feel confident that you can add value, that your negotiation skills are better, you can offer things that can entice people to want to work with you. Then you're confident with that. You've tested that out in your friends and family. Then you hit the streets and you can start doing it with people in your field of business, or with strangers that you meet, or with a boy or girl if you want to get a boyfriend or girlfriend, and you can put it to the test, and then not put it to the test, put it to work, and they will wield real results. So a quick one might be if you're a guy, you want to get a girlfriend, or a boy, you want to get if you're a boy, you want to get a girlfriend, and you're a girl, you want to get a boyfriend. One thing you could you go out to the street, and if your negotiation skills work, if you have that confidence, that belief in your value when you make the interaction, some real results might be, one real result is you might feel comfortable doing it. That's a real result. That's one of the hardest things for people to do, is feel comfortable putting themselves out there. If you find, gee, I'm really comfortable doing this, I feel confident, then that's a result that you've won. You've won there. Or another result might be a material result, like you get their phone number or something, or if you're doing a business deal, or you might save money. If you're talking business, you call your phone provider and you want them to wipe off some money on your latest phone bill. A real result would be that they wipe the money off, or you might get a good deal on TV or a bed or something. That's a real result. Okay, so you got the three stages of the three stages of developing your skills. Which is the first stage is at home, thinking about what you do, write down what you can do, what value you bring. Then sparring, right? Like the boxer does sparring, you spar, you practice that. Maybe you talk into the mirror. You don't have to practice on your family or friends. You could just talk into the mirror or record it. Practice your negotiating skills. You got to spar, and then you got to take it to the next level, just like the boxer does. You got to actually get into some real fights. You got to get out there and try wield real results. And that's the three stages. So, like I said in another cast I did, there's this philosophical idea that there's something intrinsically powerful about three, 1, 2, 3. That's why I had the Holy Trinity in Christianity. There's just something about three, a trio, that's really powerful. Like in a story, there's a beginning, middle, and end. So I'm always noticing threes. And that's why the Holy Trinity, I use the Holy Trinity of development. I use the three things: the performance, practicing your performance, practicing your creativity, and practicing your absorption, reading books and all that. Absorption, you got to absorb things. That's the Holy Trinity. Or there's the I mentioned there, the Holy Trinity of practicing your skills is you stay at home, you think about what skills you have, then you put them to practice by sparring. That's number 2. You could talk to the wall, talk to the mirror, talk into your phone, or you talk to your friends and family and practice it. That's sparring. And the final stage is putting it to work out in the streets in real life, and that's stage number 3, and that will wield the real results. So that will about sum it up. That was obviously just a very fundamental discussion on negotiating and getting that core confidence that all successful negotiators have. Like I said, look at Donald Trump, the way he was so successful in gathering support, because he had that core confidence, that honesty that I mentioned. I don't know whether you like him or not. You might not like him, but I mean, you can still learn shit from people you don't like. It works for all. And Barack Obama, all successful people have that. They're honest. Now, I do think Trump was more honest. Was one of the most honest people in terms of he's expressing what he feels. Okay, he might lie a lot, but he expresses what he feels. Even they said his words just come out of his. He doesn't think about what he says; it just comes out. And that, to a lot of his supporters, that was like honest. He was very honest, and that's what made him attractive to so many of the people in America. So the power of being honest and being a good negotiator is all about being confident in the value you bring, and that way when you do negotiate, you are honest because you do actually believe you have value. So follow those steps, go through those things, give it a shot, see how it works. Let me know what you think about that. And yes, I do other casts, and I'll catch up with you when I cast my next audio session, and I'll speak to you then.